This meeting is being recorded.
Shake up to wake up. That's our theme for your post-solar eclipse fix. We just hit April 8th. This is 2024 if you're finding the recording later on YouTube or anywhere else. And I am CiCi with Wise Woman Evolving. Welcome. I'm glad you're all here. If you're new to the channel or new to these experiences with me, my suggestion once you find this, and whenever you find this, even if it's 10 years later, as long as you listen from start to finish and follow along, this will benefit you. That intention is set so that no matter when you find this, it's ready for you and you're ready for it. So if you're experiencing this right as I'm recording it, those who are live with me, thank you very much for joining me. A lot of you have sent in notes that couldn't make it this month, and I've brought you all in, so to speak, so that we can all work together and share the space for healing, for moving forward. This eclipse was a major one, and I'm hearing the effects for this one are at least going a year out. So my intention in working with the energies today and with everyone is that this will really accelerate us through the year to gain the most from our healing, our experiences. Eclipses, especially a major solar eclipse like we just had, and we had a lunar eclipse recently as well, just a few weeks ago. This can really shake things up. It can make us feel like everything's crumbling, blowing up, falling apart, etc. We have one person here who recently just broke her arm. And a lot of people wrote in asking for work with chronic autoimmune issues, including, the big C word. So I don't know what I can get away with saying here on YouTube, because this will be published to YouTube. So I'm not going to say too much. But a lot of these things come up around, and eclipses tend to really shake life up. I mean, we think, oh my gosh, what next? I myself have had a lot of major life shifts recently. Um, my, well, each of my parents are really aging, and we have had a lot of shakeups within the family. My mother has been in hospital a few hours away, and she's almost 81. I get back from visiting her and trying to get her settled for a bit while she's in the hospital. And then my father calls me. I can't walk. He's turning 90 in a few months. And then I recently fell while cutting the grass, and I've been hobbling because I twisted an ankle. I was grateful that that's all that happened, because previous to that, I had been on a ladder painting inside my home. And so I'm thankful. Mine was minor. But it makes us start to really wonder with some of these mishaps, quote unquote. I mean, everything happens for a reason. There are no accidents. And it makes us stop and kind of take stock. What's going on in my life right now? What am I to learn from this? Is there a message? A lot of us are getting the message right now that it's time to slow down and rest a little more. And some of us who tend toward more type A personalities think, but we have to go, go, go. We need to produce. We need to be productive. We need to help others. Whatever it is that we tend to identify with as a personality or a necessity even, sometimes life will shake us up and say, no, you don't. Sit down, take a rest. And we have to remember that when we take time to heal, our bodies are doing a huge job from the inside out. Our body, our mind, and our spirit. And by taking that time to rest and recover, relax. And this is also a Mercury retrograde period, which is all about the REs: relax, rest, recover, um, reflect, renew. It's a really great time, especially with the solar eclipse and Mercury retrograde together, to remember it is time to slow down, go within. And we are doing tremendous amounts of work from within. And as above, so below, from within, so without, etc. So it's something to really remember. One of our attendees recently broke her arm. And I thought I would share what I got from looking that up and this is a very tattered copy. You can tell how well loved it is over the years. But this is Louise L. Hay's book, Heal Your Body. The cover is different nowadays because she's come out with newer editions. I love my well-loved book. But arms are about representing the capacity and ability to hold the experiences of life. And the mantra that Louise Hay gives in her book to help heal that and recognize what lesson we're to get: I lovingly hold and embrace my experiences with ease and with joy. And the reason I'm reading that out, hopefully not everyone is breaking something these days, but it's because I thought it was a beautiful message to begin our session with today.
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel tying that in, the embracing experiences with ease and with joy, if we can tie that in to bring those energies in kind of as a resource for the rest of the year for us, while the energies of this solar eclipse are really flaring up, so to speak. There might be some big shakeups and some wake up calls for us. If we are wise, we take those opportunities to wake up, to have an awakening from within, to ask ourselves, where do I need to take personal responsibility? And what is not my responsibility? Because a lot of times we take on more responsibilities than are ours. It becomes a burden to us. We get frustrated, we have resentments, and we want to learn to clear all of that up. And maybe right now, the shakeups are to remind us to clear out the stuff that is not ours. When something happens, when we have thoughts, when we have stress, especially, when we feel like we're coming up against hitting a wall or an obstacle in life, what is stopping us from having the experience we would really prefer having right now? We begin, if we are wise, to recognize, maybe I'm doing something wrong. I should back up and try a different path. There's a learning in that. And there's wisdom in that, especially when we take time to reflect and recognize what is not ours. If we have a difficult moment, is that mine or is it someone else's? Not mine, bye-bye. Thank you. What am I to learn from that? If it is ours, we definitely want to dive deeper within to ask, what is it we're supposed to learn from that? What can we grow through? A lot of this year coming up is about big expansion, shakeups, yes, but big expansion and toward higher growth for us as individuals and global humanity, because we want to move into those higher realms of experience, higher planes, if you will. So something too, when we have some of these upsets and shakeups and life is just kind of picking up the snow globe and shaking it up and all the snow's falling all over. And sometimes we're feeling like, oh, it's too much right now. That's an opportunity to ask, what do we need to let go of so that we don't have so many burdens, so much to carry, so much to clean if we're cleaning house, It's a time to allow ourselves to purify. One really healthy way to purify is just to have a good cry. Let it all out. Don't stifle it in. Try to have a big lung experience, the big, because that's getting it out. The lungs are about letting go so that we have more room to take more of life in. And so we want to be able to really dive into that experience so that we can get it over with and move on and get to the good stuff in life, right? So, a lot of people wrote in asking to work on chronic issues with health, autoimmune issues, immune issues in general. I know whether you're in the northern or southern hemisphere, we have spring and fall. It's kind of allergy season for a lot of people. I have a little bit of sniffle. I've been working out in the garden this morning and the wind here and the pollen's blowing around. So I'm dealing with tiny bit of that myself. A lot of people right now in the world have written in asking to work on financial issues, money issues, work, job, career. And so we want to throw those items up on the clipboard as well. Whatever you're here to work on, we'll address it, even if it doesn't sound like it's being addressed. If you go within, it will begin to uncover issues that are causing blocks in the areas in life that you would like to see improvement in. Belief systems. That's kind of at the root of everything, isn't it? What we believe is what we experience. What we think about is what we bring about, is the saying. And then to go back to something I said a few minutes ago, where asking, is it mine or is it someone else's as far as responsibility? We can ask the same of our belief systems. If we're starting to recognize, I don't care if we're 80 years old or if we're 2 years old, what belief system am I experiencing? Am I catching myself thinking about something or behaving in a way or believing something that I may not really resonate with? Was it my parents' belief? Was it what I was taught by teachers or someone else in the community or society, through observation? If I may remind everyone to stay muted, that would be very helpful for the recording. Thank you. And bless you. I think I heard someone sneeze in the background. We want to look at growth and expansion, movement, feeling free to move. What belief systems are holding us back in life? You know, one thing I read in the beginning to everybody that I thought would be great to bring in was, about the ability to hold and embrace our experiences with ease and with joy. What belief systems are holding us back? What beliefs are we holding on to too tightly and not willing to let go when they're no longer serving us? What beliefs are we feeling like are kind of out of reach and we'd like to hold on to them a little bit more? These are good questions to begin to ask ourselves as we work to expand our growth, our spirituality, our health, now and throughout the year coming. Something that's really coming up is the idea, with all that's going on in the world, is remembering to have compassion. It is really hard because there are times when we're growing, we notice other people. I had one person tell me recently in session work, she asked, I think the question was, how do we accept where others are when we see ourselves growing? And it can become very frustrating because we just want to shake them and say, wake up, don't you see? And, we have to remember, we're human. We all started somewhere. None of us is better than any of the rest of us. I've been working on personal growth and spiritual growth for well over 40 years. I've been working on it really diligently for over 30 years. Um, it's a very humbling experience if we allow it to be. And it should be, because when we're humbled, we also learn from that as well. And the humbling part is realizing we are all on the same path. We may be on a different part of the track, so to speak, than someone else, than our neighbor, our coworker, our spouse, our friends, our family members, but we're all on the very same path. And it's really hard when life is shaking up so much as it has been in these past few years to recognize that we are all worthy of love and compassion and understanding. And to have that compassion, to find that compassion in our hearts a little more easily, we can just ask ourselves, are they struggling with something like I have in life? Or you can look at them and recognize, just like me, they're trying to survive. Just like me, they're trying to find a smoother, happier, more joy-filled path or way in life. Just like me, they're trying to care for their family or find comfort in some way. When we look at it that way, even if they have a different belief system, a different way of doing things, of being, saying things, different personalities, we can still have compassion. We would hope that they would have compassion for us as well. And it's kind of remembering the golden rule, and that helps us go a little bit further and be a little bit more patient with those in our lives that can kind of try our patience sometimes. Whether it's our children, our spouses, our bosses, our neighbors, or the person in front of us in traffic, or maybe the person who pulled out in front of us and cut us off. Just like me, they're trying to get somewhere in life as well. And it's a good reminder when we take time to have that compassion. I think a lot of people right now are looking for clarity as well, in our own judgments, our own thought process, thinking process, decision-making process. And, a lot of the stuff that's coming up these days is really pulling us in different ways. And we feel like we're starting to see the light of what we want, what we would like to be. And we're asking ourselves, how do we get there? And we start to see ourselves getting there. And then sometimes we may feel like we're being pulled down by something or someone else. And so what I'm seeing come in right now to kind of link some of these things together and create a formula, if you will, to help settle down the mind, recenter ourselves in our bodies so that we can find that spiritual growth. We're going to bring in different parts of the brain, the head brain. So there's the three brains, the head brain, heart brain, and gut brain. And we will see what comes up. I work with, if you're new to this work, I work with what's a priority for the group in this case, or when I'm working one-on-one with clients through transformational coaching. What is priority for you right now? And when I do these group sessions or talks, I kind of bring a group in my mind. And my intention is whoever finds this video, whoever's participating live, whoever has the intention to watch it later, you are part of that group and you will be served. So tapping into that group energy really is what I'm doing. Looking at that, I'm looking at different parts of the head brain to begin with. I see what's coming up first. We're getting like cerebrum, prefrontal cortex, amygdala is often there. That's the fight or flight. So, kind of looking at cerebrum, it's kind of the problem solving part of the brain. It has many, many jobs that can have to do with spontaneity. If you feel called to do something different to your normal, go for it. That's opening yourself up to new experiences, to new growth. That's part of that, the cerebrum, that part of the brain that gives us the spontaneity in life. And we can often have fun experiences that way. That can shake life up in a fun way if we decide to do something spontaneous, so that hopefully we don't have the major shakeups that can be life altering. Well, sometimes life altering is good, but we want to have a more gentle experience with that. So if we choose to be spontaneous, it might make our shakeups that we're not planning a little more mild, a little more tolerable. Shakeups aren't bad. It just means we need to, shake stuff out so that we can find um, an easier way in life for ourselves, a better existence, a better experience, a better creation. We create our own realities, whether we're aware of it or not. And so, why not do it consciously and have a little bit of fun with it? It makes life a lot easier. And I've often said over the years, and if some of my clients, y'all have been with me for years, and so you've heard me say this a million times, but life should be fun. If it isn't, what are we doing wrong? And yeah, we have life experiences that we need to learn from. Life should have flow and it should have ease and it should be fun. If not, that's something telling us there's a block. We need to back up and go around or go another way, find another route, find another way of thinking, another way of being, another way of doing things to create more ease and more flow in our lives. And so, excuse me, I'm going to grab a sip of water. By the way, if you're new here, I always encourage you to have a glass of water when you're going through these sessions with me, because the more we stay hydrated, the more the cells will hold on to the formula, and the more effective it'll be, long term. Okay. So, the cerebrum is also about social behaviors. And given that we're in eclipse season right now, those are some big shakeups. And I'm hearing with the solar eclipse that it was pretty major. I'm no astrologer. I don't understand that very well. What I do recognize is that the energies do have an effect in our lives. And if something comes up as a priority to bring in, I will. But my understanding, which is, I'm not going to claim to know a whole lot about astrology or any of that, but the solar eclipse, this one apparently is pretty powerful and can create some sudden shifts and changes, whether we want them or not. And I think that also has to do with the way some of the other planets are aligned and things like that, that I love, I'm fascinated by. Um, I can appreciate the information and knowledge we gain from that. It's not my area of study and not my area of expertise, much as I'm fascinated by it. But I think some of the social behaviors, and they have been changing for a few years, they're going to change. And if we can access that part of the brain and kind of settle that down, we can have an easier time of bringing in that compassion to where our social behavior is more tolerable to others, but to where we have a greater sense of compassion for others, and therefore we have a better experience of life. Because that's what it's all about. The rest of the world is just a reflection of us inside here. And others around us are just a reflection of what's going on here and here in our hearts. We're going to work also with the prefrontal cortex. it's kind of the expansion, expression of that center that's the expansion and expression of the higher states of consciousness. It also, it's kind of the thinking mind, concentration, things like that. It also is the part of the brain that's the expression of our emotions, joy, sadness, etc. And so we're linking those two parts in, as well as with the brainstem. With the organization, that has to do with the organization and perception of the environment. And by bringing all of those together and kind of organizing it in one cohesive unit, then the scattered mind can kind of quiet down a bit. That can help us sleep better. I also see coming in the septal region of the brain, which is the heart center of the brain, and among other things, but that's the aspect we're looking at right now. That to me feels like it's unifying some of these concepts to where we can allow the scattered pieces to settle down, come together, kind of like when we defrag a computer. It's the same type process we're looking at here. And we'll bring all of that together for unification, for more clarity. When we have more clarity, then we can more easily see what our belief systems are that might be holding us back. What belief system would we prefer holding? That's an interesting question to meditate on and to work toward. We can also look at where are we being what we are judging someone else as being that we don't like. Because again, they're just a reflection of us. And if we really deeply look within and we don't see that, then maybe we can remember a time in our past and glean a little bit more information from it, because our growth comes in layers. We're like onions, you peel away the layers, or like the lotus flower blooming and blossoming. There are layers and layers and layers of beauty. And I like to look at each of us as beautiful individuals with amazing layers of beauty and possibility. And so we're going to bring those concepts in. We're going to also link, especially because we've linked everything in with the septal region, the heart region of the brain. We're going to link that to the heart brain, the heart brain itself. So from the septal region, which is in the head brain, to the heart region, the heart brain itself. Sorry if that's getting a little bit of bringing some confusion in. So that's interesting. It's coming out like that when I'm looking at working on clarity. So let's clean that up a little bit, because apparently there's something scattered still. And what I'm picking up on is that we also need to bring in and consider the amygdala. The amygdala is the fight or flight center of the brain. It's where the existential fear part of the brain, sometimes we can freeze, and we want to be able to relax the mind, relax the amygdala, to be able to hold more focus and not freeze up. We can slow time down. And I'm going to slow that down, the processing within the fear part, the rage part too of the amygdala, by about 3 nanoseconds. That can help give us that time to more fully see, more clearly see what it is we're addressing or need to address, so that we're not so afraid of the tiger chasing us. Fear, there's nothing to fear but fear itself. And if we really take that in and recognize that, we can literally slow time down and recognize, wait a minute, there's no tiger chasing me right now. Right now, I am well. Right now, I am here. Right now, I'm living and breathing, and I'm all right. And that can give us just enough space to be able to sort through all the craziness in life, all the chaos, so that we can begin to slow the mind down, slow the breathing down, and really go within to be able to process, see more clearly, have more discernment, make those judgments in a way that we trust ourselves more. When someone else is speaking to us, we don't have to feel so stressed about agreeing to something in the moment and then going, whoa, I don't really trust them. In that moment, if we are in less fear and we're more relaxed, then we have more discernment. And then we can more clearly see, yeah, no, I'll call baloney on this one. No, thank you. And then we can walk away with a stronger sense of peace, a deeper sense of peace from the conversation, from the, an incident or an accident or a something at work. We can have that greater sense of peace. And when we have that sense of peace and calm, the body responds in kind. Therefore, more healing can take place. Whether we're dealing with something acute or with something more chronic. And right now, there's been a lot, like almost an explosion of chronic health issues that I've seen come up in the world. And so the more that we can bring that sense of calm to the amygdala in the brain, to the body, to the cells, the more we can begin to see more clearly what it is. Do we need to change something in our diet? Do we need to change something in our lifestyle? Do we need to change something in our way of thinking? Instead of going, hurry, 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 do, we have to do this and be more productive and get that done and help others. Sometimes we want to help others so much that we're not really able to help them because we're just trying to push it on them because we think we have to. And if we do it from a more relaxed state, a more peaceful state, then we're truly able to give more from compassion, and they're able to receive more. And there's more joy in that meeting, in the meeting of the minds, in the meeting of the fields, because we interact. And if you're in, I have people here from other parts of the world. I'm in the southern United States, but people are live here. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you may be in a completely different part of the world, but we still interact within our fields. And we have that exchange, that energetic exchange. And if we can bring more peace and calm to that, more compassion, more joy, then we begin to receive our own healing. When we take time to receive our own healing, we're able to share that with others. So I invite you to take a deep breath in and out. Begin to relax. And we're just going to tap that formula in for a moment as we take a deep breath in and out all the way to the belly. Breathing in more compassion for ourselves, because that's where it starts. Breathing in more life, more joy. Breathing that in more fully, so that we can relax and find the healing that we need from within, and then be able to share that with the world. So what I'm seeing also come in next is triple heater, looking at the Chinese, in Chinese medicine, the meridian system. We're looking at the triple heater. Kind of the concept from that, and the triple heater has to do with a few different things, but here we're really focusing more on the concept of transformation and transition as we go through the rest of this year, after this big shakeup of a big solar eclipse or whatever's going on in the world. Right now, there's a lot going on in the world. The earth is changing, the earth is moving. So we want to bring more movement into our own lives, bringing in that energy of movement and expansion and growth. Unfortunately, there are a lot of earthquakes, and so I do want to take just one moment to bring our attention to the earth and to those who are experiencing difficult earth changes. It's been a year filled with a lot of shakeups, unfortunately, for a lot of people, in unexpected ways. That's where we really have taking a moment to have that compassion, not only for the earth that supports us all, but for those who are experiencing difficult times through those shakeups, whether it be major flooding, earthquakes, storms. Just a moment for a deep breath, compassion and love and healing for all. And with that, we're going to move into the energy of the triple heater. We're going to balance that out with what I'm hearing now is just a gentle breeze, just a calm, soothing, healing, cleansing, gentle breeze that can go through the mind, through the environment. It can be very cleansing in a peaceful way and a comforting way. It can cool things off when it's too hot. For those of you in chillier parts of the world right now, hopefully it would be a warm, gentle breeze we're bringing in for you. Just feel the gentle breeze cleansing the mind, cleansing the body, cleansing the blood is what I'm hearing. And we're going to add in a full circulation plug-in, which not only represents blood, nerve, and lymph movement, but also hydration, moving the effluvia or the garbage, the trash out of the body. Also, thoughts, emotions, the environment. Just keep that completely circulating so that we don't get stuck. We don't get stuck with a health issue. We don't get stuck with a thought pattern. We don't get stuck with an emotional pattern or mental. It's like getting on the hamster wheel and we can't get off, especially if it's in the middle of the night. That can be very frustrating and it's not getting us anywhere, right? So we want to bring in that concept of a full circulation to keep things moving, not in a stuck way in one pattern, but to get it off of the hamster wheel, so to speak, and keep things flowing, bringing ease to our lives, bringing new ideas, new ways of doing things, new ways of seeing things. Because when we can see things in new ways, we can express ourselves in different ways, often in better ways. But at the very least, we can play with those concepts and really come to enjoy, in a playful way, looking at some of the difficulties in life and helping them move out so that we can have an easier experience, have that flow, have that joy, have the fun in life. So I invite you to take one more deep, long, cleansing, relaxing breath in and out, all the way down to the belly and out. And we're just going to tap that in to the head and the heart and the belly. Get all three brains. Concept of compassion and uniting. Uniting in compassion. Uniting our hearts and our minds, our souls, for a healthier, happier, more flowing, more joy-filled, more compassionate life, where we all can come together to help each other, love each other, support each other, and feel the joy that life is. Because life is joy. Yes, we can have some difficult experiences, but if we allow ourselves to feel that joy bubbling up from within, then anything is possible. Our own healing, and we heal, by the way, from the inside out. So we need to get those old stuck thoughts out so that the body can get the stuck stuff out. Try saying that 3 times real fast. But that way we can bring more presence to our own mind, our own hearts, our own experiences, so that we can heal our finances, our world, our car, if you're having car trouble, heal our bodies, our minds, and our spirits. Not that the spirit needs any healing, but we can access energies and frequencies from our spirits that can help us heal. Help us heal any area of life, whether it's the body, the mind, the experiences, our workplace, etc. I invite you all to feel the joy in life, to love life, to enjoy your own peace so that we can spread compassion and help humanity and help the earth as we all go through these healing experiences. So if you're not familiar with YouTube, I'm going to ask if you, below the video, if you'll look at the description, and it will probably say ... more. If you'll click on that, I'd ask you to click on that and read through it. I have links to get a free PDF that you can download, get on my mailing list. Hit the thumbs up button below the video if you would. I hate asking for that, but I know a lot of us my age, we don't always recognize those things. But what I'm trying to do in these videos is put this out to the world and share with the world so that everyone can benefit from it and experience more healing in their own lives. This is completely free. And so the more we can spread that word, share a comment, what you like or even don't like. I do read the comments. And share, subscribe to the channel. There are all those little buttons below the video. Explore them, play with them, have fun. Welcome again. And just so you know, my website is still not up. I've had a lot of, I've been helping my parents a lot lately. And I'm kind of in that sandwich generation. I've got, a granddaughter, and I've got aging parents. And here I am trying to do it all and reminding myself to slow down and have compassion for my own self so that I can help others. And I'm asking you to remember to do the same. So I hate asking to do those things with the YouTube buttons, but I do really, my goal in this is to love precious humanity, to help humanity heal. And we do that for ourselves and spreading it to others. And as soon as I can, I will get wisewoman.evolving. And I am still evolving. I am certainly not all the way there. But I ask y'all to join me with that in evolving. wisewomanevolving.com. I'll get it up as soon as possible. Until then, enjoy the freebies I have. Click below in the description. I love you all. I have so much gratitude for each and every one of you being here. Whether you're here live or whether you're watching this later, please do share this with everyone you feel could benefit so that we can love all of those that we know personally and send it out to the rest of the world. Thank you for joining me. I love you all. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. When you show up for yourselves to do this work, by the way, you show up for the whole world. And that's a big job. So I'm going to go back to what I said in the beginning. Take time to rest, relax, recover, retreat. Right now, we need to heal from the inside. And sometimes it requires being still, being quiet, not doing so much. Healing is an inside job, and it takes a lot of energy. So don't feel like you're being lazy. You're getting a lot done. When we can begin to heal even just one thought from the inside, that helps heal the rest of humanity. So thank you all for showing up in such a big way. I love you all. I'll see you next month. I do these on the second Tuesday of the month at noon Central Time in the United States. And then whatever time that is in your time zone. I appreciate y'all because some of y'all, it's getting really late. I love you all. Have a beautiful week, a beautiful year. Bye-bye.